you guys, and welcome to another live broadcast. If you're joining me on YouTube, welcome. If you're joining me on Facebook, always love having you here as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button or that like button so that when I go live or publish a video, you will be notified and you can either jump in with us on the live broadcast or you can comment on any posted video, and I always go back and review them and make sure that I address your comment. I feel if you take the time to leave me a comment, then I owe you the same courtesy and respond to whatever it is that you're leaving for me, and I always appreciate them, so thank you so much. If you are joining us for the first time, I'd like to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I have been helping women find nutritional plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best, and most importantly, live their most authentic life. And for me, that has been done through the process of sort of researching, experimenting, and then implementing an intermittent fasting protocol that actually does help me live my most authentic life. And now I am teaching other women how to do the same thing. Tonight, what I would really like to kind of chat with you guys about is the whole phenomenon, or I guess the whole image that we are always kind of striving to look for, and that is the perfect everything. And I have been in the health and fitness industry for, like I said, about 25 years, and I can tell you that there is definitely no perfect anything as far as health and fitness goes. There's no cookie cutter formula that's going to get you to the perfect body. There's no cookie cutter meal plan that's going to get you to the perfect health. There is no cookie cutter sort of lifestyle that people are living that is going to make everything that they're doing absolutely perfect, because that just does not exist. And I think we as women should really start sharing a little bit of the maybe the imperfections that we have in our life and some of the things that we're struggling a little more openly, and stop striving to be that perfect everything all the time. And if you have been hanging around any of my social media mediums, you will know I am far from perfect. I misspeak all the time. I stutter sometimes. I don't think I've ever published a post that doesn't have some sort of grammatical error or typo in it. I definitely don't have the perfect life. I am far from having the perfect body. And I definitely don't live a perfect lifestyle as far as health and fitness goes. But what I can say about what I do and what I really try to show and teach other women is that doing your best and finding what works for you should be perfect enough. And we should not look for that thing that's going to be the easiest thing for us to get done and provide, perfection in every aspect of our life. I think we often shortchange ourselves, and we work so tirelessly looking for that and striving for that. And even if you have sort of reached a perfect place, maybe with your fitness or your physique or your nutrition, it usually just lasts a split second, and then life happens, and then we fall out of perfection, and then we have this sense of failure or letdown, and then we kind of get back on the same perfection rat race. And so I would like to kind of just share with you and let you guys know that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to, have messy hair sometimes. I worked out at 7:30 this morning and I still haven't showered. I mean, that is so far from perfect in anyone's world, but it just doesn't fit my life all the time. Sometimes I have the option of showering or working out and not both. And that's okay sometimes, because if I tried to strive for perfection every day, I promise you I would get nothing done. My life would probably be miserable. I'm sure the people living around me would be miserable, because I would always fall short, because it's just not possible. And I think that if we kind of just are okay with letting our guard down and being okay with admitting that sometimes it's okay if things aren't perfect, and it's okay if we have messy hair or we didn't shower or our kids ate mac and cheese, 4 nights in a row. Like, it's okay. Everyone's going to live and everything's going to be all right. And we can give ourselves a little bit of permission and sense of relief that we can just breathe. And I know a lot of times when I get on my consult calls with the women that are in my course, they're still sort of living in that rat race. And I think sometimes we need to just have permission that it's okay to just breathe and let things be and do a little bit of experimenting and do a little bit of failing and do a little bit of falling short, and knowing that that's just what it takes to be human. And it's much more attractive and much more relaxing for the other people in our life when we are okay with just being who we are and not trying to be something that we're not, and living up to something that we just can't maintain for too long of a period of time, because something's going to happen and it's going to fall out of perfection. So if you are struggling with something in your life, whether it's your nutrition or your fitness or a relationship or your house not being as clean as you think it should be, or the fact that you worked out today and it's 9 o'clock and you still haven't showered, it's okay. Life will go on. You'll eventually get a shower. I will get a shower sometime tonight before I hit the bed. And that's just okay, because it's exhausting to try to chase that perfect train, and it's exhausting to always fall short, and it's exhausting to always beat ourselves up trying to achieve something that is sometimes just not achievable. So I highly recommend that you stop looking at perfection and trying to measure yourself up to that. It's just that thing that's just not worth it. And I guarantee you the person that you're looking at that you think's life is perfect is probably far from it too. They're just putting their best foot forward, because honestly, no one wants to hang around with people who are negative all the time. But just because you're not talking about the bad things doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to present perfection. And with that being said, I can tell you that there are a lot of really mean people out there who have no problem pointing out when you misspeak, or no problem pointing out when your eyebrows aren't perfect, or pointing out when you say something that maybe you didn't really mean to say, but it just came out the wrong way. And I think we as a society should really try to give each other a little bit of grace and a little bit of, I don't know, wiggle room, I guess, to just be, and not always be so super polished and super perfect and trying to present something that is not exactly true and real. And I think that if we as women especially start to give a little bit of that grace and start to give a little bit of that wiggle room, that when we receive it, we'll be more inclined to give it as well. And there's no better feeling than to just let someone be in a mistake, or let someone be in a messy house, or let someone be in a little bit of their shortcomings, because it does give us a little bit of sense of relief and takes the pressure off of us for not having to live up to those other expectations as well. So it's bathing suit season, and it's shorts season, and it's tank top season, and a lot of women are really judgmental of other women during this time of year. And so I would ask and caution you to just be kind to other women when you see them out. Make sure that you compliment each other. Make sure that you're not pointing out other women's shortcomings. Trust me, if a woman has a shortcoming, she's very aware of it. She doesn't need someone else to point that out to her. And maybe if we extend a little bit of grace and courtesy and compliment, that we can kind of build up someone instead of breaking them down. And in that same process, we can build ourselves up. So if you're struggling with that perfectionism, I would highly recommend taking a little step back and taking a deep breath and just figuring out a way to kind of try to let that go, and see if that takes a little bit of pressure off of you and takes a little bit of burden off of you, and will allow you to just be in whatever space that you're in and enjoy the people that you're with and enjoy the time that you're with. Because there is nothing that's perfect. Like I said, there's no perfect meal plan. There's no perfect calorie count. There's no perfect fasting window. There's no perfect feasting window. There's no perfect exercise program. Everyone has flaws in their body and abs that are not perfect. You can make them perfect very easily with this certain twist of your body and a certain angle of a camera, but the reality is it's not perfect. And so don't measure yourself up to those people. Be happy with who you are, and just know that there are things about you that are wonderful, despite maybe some of the things that you feel are shortcomings. And if we live in that positive space, we can start to think positively to ourselves, and we can speak positively to ourselves, take the pressure off, and then extend that grace and courtesy to others. Because when you're feeling good about yourself and you're not constantly beating yourself up, then it's really easy to extend that to others. So I just felt like I needed to kind of share a little bit of that today, because I know I can kind of get caught up in that wheelhouse of perfectionism and trying to be perfect all the time. And when you're in this world of being so public and being so open, boy, I'll tell you, it comes back at you really quick when you say something wrong, or like I said, your eyebrows aren't perfect, or you say something that's awkward or whatever. And there's so many mean people out there who have no problem tearing you down, and I guess I just don't really understand that, because I can't imagine ever doing that to someone else. And so if you find that you're sort of a victim of that, just walk away, and know that there are parts of you that someone doesn't know about, and too bad for them that they don't get to see the good stuff. And I always think that it's sad when people take time to beat someone else down and to just be mean to someone else. So I always say, if you have the opportunity to be kind and gracious to someone, just extend that to them, because you never know who might have just chopped their head off or beat them down or said something that was mean to them. And you could be that person that could turn it around for them and brighten their day and get them off on a happy note, and allow them an opportunity to kind of pick their head up and move on and have a great day. So I'm going to see if there's any comments, and we're going to kind of cut this short tonight because it is Thursday night and we are going to hang out on the couch a little bit and watch a movie. But I kind of wanted to say that to you guys in case you might have had one of those days, or you might have had one of those situations where someone sort of beat you down, and or maybe you're struggling with perfectionism and it's kind of weighing on you. There's no need for any of that today in this world, because no one's perfect. Okay, let me see. Christine, good to see you. Faye, it was awesome talking to you as well. Debani, always good to have you here. Kara, my assistant, is here. Carla, my husband's here. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Christine, great start to this feed. Awesome, girl. Susan, one thing about holding extra weight, it keeps you humble. Well, you can be humble without extra weight too, so don't worry. Just because you lose weight doesn't change who you are. Hopefully. We work on that in our course. Catherine, hi from Boston. Hey, Boston. Yvonne, good to see you. Debbie Wagner, always nice to see you. Heather, hey. Allison, hey, just found you this week. Very timely for me. Allison, good. I'm so glad you found us. It's a great, so this part's great, but if you're here and you're in the audience or you're in the comments feed, just know that you're within a great group of women. The women that have rallied around here on YouTube and Facebook, I swear you guys touch my heart and you make me feel so good every day. I love my consult calls that I get to have you. I love the communication that we're having in our course Facebook groups. You guys are, I don't know how I got so lucky that so many great women have gathered around from all over the world, but you are some of the best women. Some great friendships that I've made from people that I've never really met in person, but we've shared some pretty intimate things and some pretty touching things. And because of that, I just am so fond of all of you. So I always want to make sure that you guys know how much I appreciate you. Okay, hey, just found you this week. Okay, I already read that one. Debbie, so good to have you, Debbie. You're always so positive. Love your positive messages for today and yesterday. You get so caught up in the perfection and negative thoughts that we can lose track of everything. Yep, you got it, girlfriend. We need to stay humble for sure. Teresa, can you share some nutritious good fats? Yeah, hold on a second, Teresa, I'll do that. Allison, I threw out my scale today. Yoo-hoo! Been trying to lose weight for over 6 months and no progress. Thinking about your course and new approach. Allison, yeah, you don't need the scale, girlfriend. We'll teach you some really great ways to have some non-scale victories. The scale will be, you won't ever have to have it again. Jeanette, just saying hello, I'm new, love your message. Jeanette, welcome. I hope you hang out. Fressa, hello Diane, I've been fasting for a month and for some reason I feel depressed, irritable. Is that normal? Fressa, why don't you email me and we can talk about some of that stuff. Sometimes it is normal, especially if you've gone too low on your calories or you might not be eating enough fat. You kind of you go too deep into a calorie deficit, and so we don't want that to happen. You really shouldn't go into a purposeful calorie deficit when you're intermittent fasting. Sometimes it happens, but when you're in the course, you understand why that happens, and you really don't go into a deficit if you're fat adaptive and you're burning fat for energy. So if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling irritable, or what we call hangry, it's probably because your hunger hormones are not balanced out. And so you are kind of going into a calorie deprivation, and you don't want to do that. So I would up your calories, up your fat content, and then see what you can do to get your hunger hormones in balance. Lisa, is there room left in July group? And can I guess the cost? Lori, why don't you just click on the link in the videos and you can get information about the course. And yes, there is room left. I think we're halfway full, but we're only the first weekend of June, so I wouldn't wait too long. Allison, how long does it take to see results from intermittent fasting in terms of balancing your hormones and potential weight loss? For some women, it takes a couple days. For others, it takes a couple weeks. It all just depends on how diligent you are about your fasting and your feasting and the nutrition choices that you make when you feast, and kind of how out of balance your hormones are when you start. Heather, I broke a 22-hour fast today at 1 something, just clicked on Monday when the June group started after I had struggled for weeks to get back on the IF bandwagon, but I'm hungry now. Have a glass of water, some carbonated water, Heather, and go to bed. So I'm glad things are clicking for you. Sometimes what happens when we follow people on social media, and I'm saying this from my own personal experience because I did this for a year, and we don't understand the whys and the hows, and we're just sort of mimicking what other people are doing. That's what I call following a diet plan. And again, remember, we were talking about perfection. So we think it's perfect, and they're only showing us what they want us to see, and they're not showing their struggles oftentimes. And so we think that what they're doing is exactly what we need to do, and we can't be that cookie cutter. So what you have to do is understand the hows and the whys of what you're doing and how it affects your body system. Be prepared to do some experimenting and implementing, and sometimes failing, and then getting back up and trying again. So if you feel like you're stuck with intermittent fasting, or you're not finding the success that you think that you need to do more research. And you need to figure out how food is supposed to work for you and your body system, and not copy what someone else is doing, because their body system is completely different than yours. And so it's not going to work the same way. Mary, I have been doing a 24 fasting schedule, but I'm having trouble getting enough calories within those 4 hours. Should I reduce my fasting time? I feel okay otherwise. Mary, how do you know you're not getting enough calories in? Faye, enjoyed. Okay, I already read that one. Faye, I like talking to you too. You're super cool. Christine, Amy, hey girlfriend. How was your workout today, Amy? I know you were with your sister-in-law, I think, again, working out, and you haven't been there for a while, so hopefully you had a good workout today. So I just wanted to know how, Gwen. Hi, Diane. So glad I caught you live. Oh, awesome. Gwen, welcome. Good to have you here, too. Let me see if I can figure out the whole calorie thing here for Mary. And then some fats, I think, was a question, too, right? Okay, so some healthy fats, of course, and nutritious fats, or anything that's real food. So avocados are, like, my favorite, and kind of the easiest healthy fat to get. And what I always like to say about avocados is, don't fear avocados. Like, avocados are that thing that have been kind of ingrained to us, that they're fattening. And they are fattening, but they're the kind of fat that we want to have. And so this is how I describe how a woman should eat an avocado. You should get a whole avocado. You should get a plate. You should get a knife and a fork and some salt and pepper. You should put the avocado on your plate. You should cut it in half, take the pit out, open up both halves of the avocado, lightly salt and pepper it, and then go to town with a knife and fork and eat the entire avocado. Like, you should not be sectioning off quarter pieces of avocado and putting 3/4 of an perfectly good avocado in the refrigerator hoping that it doesn't go bad on you. It's going to go bad on you. So eat it. Eat the entire avocado. And eating healthy, nutritious whole food fats are what's going to help you bring your calories up, because fat has high caloric content to it. So avocado oils, avocados, nuts, olives, all of those things are very high in calorie and high in fat. So they will help you bring your calories up, and they're going to provide an environment for your body to burn off fat. So you need fat to burn fat, and you need fat to lose fat. So if you're finding that you're feeling hungry, or you're feeling you're not getting enough calories, just up your fat. It's the easiest way to do it. Okay, hi Diane, this is Juanita Loomis. I have fasted for 24 hours. Will continue to fast till tomorrow, and I will break my fast at 5 p.m. I want to try for 72 hours next week. I loved all the hormone info. It helped. Juanita, hormones are the key. So if you can understand the hormone part of it, you are home free. Janet, looking forward to your July course. Anything I should be doing before the class starts? Been on a 19.5 for 2 weeks. I say, Janet, just keep doing what you're doing. And then I always suggest starting sort of like a a fasting journal and paying attention to food and how food makes you feel when you break your fast and while you're in your feasting window. And that will help a lot. A whole avocado tonight. Yeah, Jill, eat a whole avocado, girlfriend. It's the best. Mary, I actually just estimating that's barely around 1,000 calories. Okay, Mary, your name doesn't look familiar. So are you in our June course? If you're not in our course yet, then you really won't understand why not counting your calories doesn't matter anymore. Like, there's a reason why you don't have to count your calories when you're really fat adaptive and you're fasting correctly, and your body makes up for that through fat burn. So you really don't have to count your calories, and if you're feeling okay and you're getting enough fat and you're feeling those fat adaptive signals, you can go back in my YouTube channel. I've kind of described what those are. Then you should be fine, and your body's going to find the fat to burn to make up for those extra calories. So you really shouldn't have to worry about it. Okay, cool. That would be 10:30. Okay, Christy, yes, I love eating avocados. Yes, avocados are the best. Debani, started working out slowly today. I bought a Bowflex M3 trainer and I love it, going at my own pace. Debani, that is awesome. Keep going at your own pace. I eat one avocado a day at least, and I include healthy butter and nuts. Amy, that's awesome. And Amy is getting amazing results, and she's working out like a beast. So that just goes to show you that you can work out fasted if you're eating the right amount of fats, because your fat will fuel you. Debani, I actually ate a whole avocado today. Yeah, you guys, we're like in this avocado movement. I love it. Jeanette, do you recommend 16/8 fasting? Jeanette, was it Jeanette? I recommend fasting whatever window works for you. So 16/8 is always a great place to start. And if you don't feel like you're getting that fat adaption, and you don't feel like you're kind of getting to that sweet spot feeling of what intermittent fasting is supposed to do for you, then I say you ease your way into a larger fasting window, and then you can become flexible with it. So you can kind of go in from a 16/8 to a 24 to an 18, what would 18 be for, I guess, or 18/6. And you can play around with your fasting windows, and they don't always have to be so matter of fact. Like, it doesn't have to be 16/8. You know, it could be 17/7. It could be, 21/3. It doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that when you're fasting, you're truly fasted. And when you're feasting, you're eating dense nutrition. And if you follow those two rules and you only include food into your feasting window that makes you look and feel your best, then you'll strike a chord with whatever it is that you want to do with intermittent fasting. So there's no hard and fast rules. There's nothing that I can give you as far as, a solid plan that you should follow, because every woman is beautifully and uniquely designed to be their own person and their own system. And so what works for me may not work for you. So I always feel that it's very irresponsible for me to tell you that there's an exact way to do something, because that's just not true. You have to go through the process yourself. You have to go through the experimentation yourself. You have to implement and try things. And if they don't work for you, you have to be okay with letting them go and trying something a different way. And that's really how you become free of sort of being the slave to dieting and to regimented programs and things that you're blindly following that someone else has developed for them and not for you specifically. So you really have to do the work to develop something for you, and that just takes time and an open mind and a willingness to experiment and put the work in and do the research and let your body settle into it. I can tell you, because I have done it my whole career, and telling people that if you eat 12 almonds, you're following a plan, and heaven forbid you eat that 13th one and you failed. And that is so wrong of us to do to women. And it's sad that it's still going on, but it's okay. We just need to let go of that and let other people do those kind of things, and know that we're at a place in our life where it's okay to sit up and be grown-up women and make decisions for ourselves and decide which foods work for us and which foods don't. And there is a lot of food that doesn't work for me that works perfectly for other women. I had a woman reach out to me, I think she was from Germany, and she thought it was sad that I don't eat cheese, because she loves cheese, and there's plentiful, beautiful cheeses in Germany, and there probably are, and there just aren't those kind of cheeses here in the United States. And it's not sad for me, because if I ate cheese, I would be sick. And so it's not worth it for me to be sick. So she can't tell me that I should eat cheese, and I can't tell her that she shouldn't eat cheese because it makes me feel sick. And so we really have to be careful about how willing we are to blindly follow someone and not really trust what our body's signals are telling us. And our bodies are smart. They're so smart, and they're constantly sending us signals, and they're sending us messages. And if we aren't aware and checked in enough to pay attention to those signals and pay attention to those symptoms, then we're going to get ourselves caught up in trouble. And sometimes we go too far and we don't trust our bodies, and then we end up in a place where we can't recover from. So if you're not feeling good, that's a signal. If you're having, some health problems, those are symptoms. And those signals and symptoms are your body's way of warning you that something's about to go down. And you got to be really in check with those, and you got to listen to them. And part of that, listening to them, is making sure that you're positive and that you're living in a positive space with yourself and your life, and that you're not trying to strive to be perfect, but that you're striving to be the best version of you and live your life authentically for you and your family and the lifestyle that you want to live, and not trying to live by someone else's standards. So how was that for full circle for our conversation tonight? So it's okay to make your own decisions. Don't follow the latest study that was published. Experiment with it. If someone says something like blueberries are going to do something for you, try it out. See if it does something for you. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. That just means that research didn't apply to you, and that's totally fine, because there's plenty of other foods out there that you guys can eat. I have lost 20 pounds in 2 months, April 1st to June 1st, while intermittent fasting. The way of eating has been key for me and my hormones. That would be Amy, and Amy is killing it. Faye, wow, Amy, that's great. I've been there too, just started. Awesome. Faye, you're going to get there too. So you have a positive mindset, and you're going to get there, and you just stick with that. So by keeping higher fats and fewer carbs during the feasting window means that we will get into the fat burning phase faster. Susan, you just won the prize for the best aha moment in this whole conversation. Yes, that's exactly true. So you don't have to necessarily, people come to me all the time and they say, oh, are you following a low carb, high fat diet? No, but I'm eating high fat and low carb because it just makes sense. But I don't follow a diet in any way. I just know that the more fat I eat, the higher caloric intake I'll have for a day without having to rely on carbs to keep me energized. Remember, fats and carbs are what provide energy for your body. And so it's either one or the other. And oftentimes when we combine both, and usually it's the bad fats with the bad carbohydrates, then that's when we kind of get into a jam, and our body starts releasing excess insulin, and then we store that as fat, and then we start to get sick, and we put on those hormonal belly fat stuff that we don't like, and we have trouble losing weight. So if we switch that over and we eat healthy fats and only eat healthy carbs, which are like the vegetables and stuff and not the white breads and the grains and all that kind of stuff, then we burn through the carbs faster, the healthy carbs faster, and then we have the energy from the fats to keep us going and keep us working and keep our bodies functioning the way that we need them to be, and keep our brains healthy and keep our skin nice and our hair nice and our eyes nice and all the things that we need the healthy fats for, and will allow our body an opportunity to tap into fat stores to burn for energy. So that's why we need to get to that healthy fat and the low carb area. Christine, thanks, Diane. You bring a great message each and every time. I'm pumped to get started in July. Christine, I can't wait to have you. Oh my gosh, it's going to be great. Okay, the pounds lost is a great part of this, but having a clear head, energy throughout the day, and working out strong, IF is an amazing thing to learn and live. Yep, Amy, you got it right there, girlfriend. Being in tune with your body is such an amazing thing. I love learning to follow what my body is telling me. Amy. See, now Amy just got the prize for the best aha comments here. Paula, more knowledge, love it. Awesome. Laura, great info. Okay, yeah, so the thing that we really strive for, and I hope you guys get this message here on YouTube and Facebook, I really, really, really try to push this first and foremost as my message, and that is you got to look and feel your best. And by look, I don't mean the perfect physique in a bikini or any of those things. I mean look like you're happy, you're healthy, you're positive. Feeling your best is all tied into looking your best. I mean, there are some really unhealthy looking, perfect on the exterior bodies out there, but that doesn't get you very far. When you see someone who's healthy, because they're living their life the way their life should be lived, and they're making solid choices, and they're living positively, and they're hanging out with the right people, and they're just doing good stuff. Like, it shows, like it glows, and it is authentic, and it looks like you see that person and you just want to be with them and you want to be around them, and there's just a glow and an aura about them that is just health. And that's really what we strive for. The weight part of it and the body fat part of it will come off when everything else falls into place. But if you're only hyper focused on losing weight, you will be exhausted, and you'll be discouraged, and you'll be deflated in a way that, oh my gosh, this is not working. And that's often because we're so tied to the quick fix that when we actually have to put in some work, and we actually have to pay attention to our body, and we actually have to learn how our body systems are working as women, because the reality is we aren't really taught that, right? Then we think it's never going to happen for us because it takes a long time. But it's the right way to do it, because when you get your body to function the way a woman's body is supposed to function, and we take out all those quick fix symptom cover up things that we're always handed every time we go to the doctor's office, then we're healthy. And when you're healthy and you're not fixated on weight, which is why I've asked you guys to remove the scales from your house, then guess what? One day you're going to wake up and you're going to go, oh my gosh, like, whose body's attached to my head? Because everything's going to fall in place, and the fat's going to start to come off, and the weight will eventually come off, and you won't even care because you're so happy and you're so energized and you're so healthy on the inside, and emotionally and psychologically, with the life that you've created for yourself. The weight's just going to be a bonus. Like, that's just going to be a nice, like, icing on the cake that, that we don't eat. And it won't even really, it will be a great thing, but it won't be anything that is going to send you over the top, because everything else already did. The clear mind, the energy, the positive way you're living your life, the happy environment you provide for your family, the fact that you actually enjoy being around people, the fact that you like going out socially, like, all those things that we give up when we're not feeling good are going to come back. And then guess what comes back after that? The body you want, because it's just going to happen because you're not fixated on it. I always say losing weight is like watching water boil. Like, gosh darn, it takes forever. And then we step on the scale, and then, oh my gosh, it's not the number that we want it to be. So clearly you're the only person that intermittent fasting is not working for, because the scale's not moving as fast as you've decided that it should move. Well, guess what? Your body's not thinking the same way you are, and your body's not ready to have weight drop off yet, because it's too busy fixing something on the inside for you that could be potentially a problem down the road. And I don't know. I would rather hold on to a little bit of extra weight and have my body healing something on the inside that hasn't surfaced as a problem yet, and have my body spend energy on that and be happy and healthy than be a certain weight, because who determines that weight anyway? What is a perfect weight for anyone? What if I cannot temporarily exercise because of a foot injury? Oh, Lori, do you not know what happened to me? I just started working out last week when we were in Mexico. I had a 4-month hiatus from working out because we got a puppy, and I took 2 months off, blah, 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 with the puppy. Now the puppy's great because I got to spend a lot of time with her. And then I stepped my foot through the attic of our house, and I fell through the bathroom ceiling and busted up my foot. So that kind of put me out for another 6 weeks, and then life just got busy, and next thing you know, it was 4 months of not working out. And I posted a picture on Instagram today. My body hasn't changed physique-wise at all. I gained no body fat. I gained no weight. I lost no muscle. 4 months of no working out. And when I mean no working out, I mean I was like planted on my behind for 4 months. Didn't do much of anything except walk my dog. And that was not even very much activity either. So if you have to take a break because of an injury, intermittent fasting is the best thing to do to not only help heal your body, but to help maintain your body. Because when you're in a truly fasted state, and I mean truly fasted, not just not eating, but truly fasted, your body produces an enormous amount of human growth hormone naturally, and that human growth hormone will help you maintain your physique and help heal your body. So you will be fine. I say rest your foot and just be well. Jen J. Hi, Diane. I've been on a keto way of eating a lot of grains. Do you suggest a What do you suggest for constipation, please? If you're eating a lot of greens, you shouldn't have any problems. I would say just check everything that you're eating. Make sure you're not having any whey in your diet. Whey can be a big problem for that. Make sure you're not having any bananas. Bananas can be a big problem for that. And drink lots of water. Maxine, Diane, do you also get sore muscles during IF like you have been working out? Yes. You can get kind of achy, and it's kind of called the keto flu. And as soon as your body's hormones are kind of adjusted and you're truly fat adaptive, then that goes away. So it usually doesn't last too long. Okay, let's see. Back on Facebook over here. Hold on a second, you guys. Faye, aha, got it. Magdalena. Christine, yes, I will be listening to this again. So inspiring. Okay, cool, Christine. Okay, cool. Anything else questions-wise you guys have? I have had cow milk kefir. That could be doing it right there. Dairy can sometimes yeah, I don't know. I would say anytime you have an issue that you're trying to figure out, like if you have something in your life that you're trying to figure out if it's causing a problem or not, I would say do a 7-day test. So I would say take it out for 7 days and see if it clears up the problem. If it clears up the problem, that could be the culprit. If nothing changes, then I would look for something else and then just take it out for 7 days and then see how you feel. Yeah, the kefir stuff I would definitely, because you might have a little bit of a dairy intolerance that you're not aware of, and that could be causing you some issues. Okay, so Paula, does alcohol take you out of ketosis? Yes, alcohol is sugar. And so yes, it will take you out of ketosis, and there's some that are worse than others. Red wine is the worst, and if you're having any insomnia issues, red wine is usually a big culprit for that, just because it is so high in sugar content. Beer can be bad because of the gluten aspect of it and the sugar aspect of it. It's been said that vodka is the best as far as intermittent fasting and trying to stay in ketosis. And then if you put some olives in it, I always call that I call that the keto bomb, because you can have, if vodka really is that thing that doesn't take you out of ketosis, and then you put some fat in it with the olives, and you've got a low carb, high fat cocktail. So I don't know, give it a try, see how you feel. Okay, cool. Anything else we need to talk about? Sorry for putting my hand over there on Facebook. Yeah, and Paula, don't take me to the bank on that. That's just what I've heard. So I would say experiment with it and see. But red wine is probably the worst. And then you guys have seen, if you saw me post my skinny margarita, I mean, that's going to take me out of ketosis too, but it's a lot less sugar in it than there would be if I were to just take a house margarita that they were making for me and then, kind of drink it that way. So when I have a margarita, I do a top shelf tequila with fresh lime juice, a little bit of agave nectar, and then some Grand Marnier, and then I always get salt on the rim because that just makes it taste better. And then when you have something like that, that's a cocktail that's made of high quality stuff, then it always tastes better, and you tend to enjoy it a little bit more. And so I always tell the story of my $15 margaritas or my $15 glasses of wine. And if you go for quality over quantity, you're always going to be in a great shape, because it's just ridiculous to spend $45 on wine when you're out at dinner, unless of course you just do that, and then I guess that's okay for you, but for me that would be ridiculous. And so I always go high end and just enjoy one cocktail, and then I always say flank it with water. So water, cocktail, water, and that will kind of help you as well. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here, and then I'm going to run. Okay, Jen J, dry skin. Dry skin, fat will help with dry skin as well. So if you're feeling like you have some dry skin, I would definitely kick in the fats and oils and nuts and stuff like that. Any ways to help reduce inflammation? Intermittent fasting does that. And then try to stay away from foods that are known inflammatory foods. And sometimes that's just an experimentation too. So I had no idea that peanuts were making me inflamed. And then as soon as I got them out of my life, I was feeling a lot better. Yvonne, I don't know if white has more sugar than red, but red affects me insomnia-wise more than white does. So that's one of those things you have to experiment with too, and just figure out which one, I guess, works better for you. I don't know. Do you have the experience working with someone without gallbladder? I'm doing the 16-8, but can't go too much past that. Too much food on my empty stomach causes problems. Rue, yeah, there's a lot of women that I'm working with that have had their gallbladder removed, and they just have to kind of watch their fat intake and just play around with their food a little bit. A minute ago, you mentioned to make sure you're in truly fasted state, not just eating. Please clarify. Okay, so a lot of times women think that because they're not quote unquote sitting down and having a meal that they're fasting. But anytime you put calories in your body, you're risking getting yourself out of a fasted state. So I always say, if you're going to be in a fasted state, be in a true fasted state, and don't play around with all these things that people say where, well, you can take in 30 calories or you can take in 45 calories or there's a 115 calorie limit and then you're not fasting. Like, just don't take in any calories when you're in a fasted state. That's the best way to be in a fasted state. And then when you're going to feast, just feast. And so that's why I say, just, that if you take in calories, then you're eating. That's what eating is you're taking in calories. So just be in a truly fasted state. Take in no calories whatsoever. Have black coffee, maybe a little stevia, and then have some water. And then when you feast. And if your fasting window's so miserable that you can't make it through, then work your way into it until your body is fat adapted. But don't cheat yourself out of a fasted opportunity thinking you're fasting when you're really not. Will crab legs with butter take you out of fat burning? Juanita, I don't know. You have to play around with that. I would say crab legs are calories. I don't know why they wouldn't. Why? I don't know. You got to play with that. Okay. Let's see. Does alcohol take you out of ketosis? We already did that one. Yay. Cucumber, vodka, and Gucci water. Paula, that sounds awesome. Fit wine has very low sugar and carbs. Okay, there you go. There's some fit wine for y'all. Deer Park spring water, have you tried it? No, I haven't. What's special about Deer Park spring water? Does it have minerals and stuff in it? I don't think I've ever seen it around here, so it might be one of those things that we just don't get here in Texas. I don't know. Every region has their own little thing. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here because I have some consult calls tonight with some of the women in my course, so I always look forward to doing those. And then I will be back on the cream or butter coffee in the morning will end fast. I don't know. You have to test it out. I say I don't risk it. If I'm going to fast, I'm going to fast. Butter doesn't work for me because I don't do dairy. So you got to try it. For most people, they find that it's just easier just not to do anything. I call butter coffee and coconut oil coffee crutches. So I say if you can live without crutches, you're just better off. Okay, so I'm going to bust out. I promise you guys I'm going to do that like 10 minutes ago, and then you guys always ask these great questions, and I keep answering them. Okay, so I will be back. Tonight's Thursday. I'll be back Sunday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, both on Facebook and YouTube. If you have any burning questions you guys want me to talk about or just a subject you want to talk about, definitely feel free to message me or email me, and I have no problem, talking about something that may be kind of weighing on you or something that you want to have some answers to, or just maybe something you want to get off your chest and talk about. I'm always open to those kind of things. If you're looking to join my next course, it does start July 1st. We are more than halfway full for that course. So again, we will close out registration early. Don't get caught short on that one. We always hate to turn people away who are looking to join the course. The link has been posted on both Facebook and YouTube, so just look for it. It's a bit.ly link. It's super easy to find. And if you've already joined the July course and you want to do some things to prepare, I would say just start fasting and keeping a journal of the foods that are making you feel amazing and the ones that maybe aren't making you feel so great, and just keep a journal of questions so that when you get in the course, we can get those handled for you. And if you've signed up, make sure you get your About You form filled out and your consult call booked. And then a favor to anyone who is in the July course, and this is more for your benefit than it is for mine, please book your consult call with me in the month in which you are registered for the course. If you have a consult call before you get started in the course, it's sort of a waste because you really won't have the right questions to ask, and there really won't be a whole lot that I can explain to you because you won't have the information necessary to fast correctly. So I always ask that if you're booking a consult call, book it in the month in which that you are registered for the course, and usually after the first week is the best if you can, because by then you will have really soaked in the content of the course and you will have a lot of personal things that we can talk about that you won't be able to talk about until you have the information. So just make sure you kind of keep that in mind when you are booking that consult call. I did do a couple consult calls with some people who were in July, and we kind of like ran into a dead spot. We didn't know what to talk about because they weren't really informed on the stuff that we have going on in the class. So, okay, have a great night. You guys have a super fabulous weekend. Fast strong and feast well. And if you guys have any questions between now and Sunday, know I'm always here for you. Just email me or you can send me a private message on Facebook and I will make sure that I get to you. Have a good night, you guys.